What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? It's the boys back on the bench, finally getting together again. I know we've kind of been inconsistent with this, but that's not the point of it. We are back and better than ever, ready to hang out with you guys. But again, first off, I always like to check in on these boys. I don't keep in contact as much as I should with y'all. How are y'all doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back. As always, it's just kind of, life gets busy, man. It just, everything that's going on, I can't wait to just get into a rhythm and a groove with this and just stay on here with you guys. So we'll see what happens. I'm glad to be back.
Same. I just like Dalton said, we've all been really, really busy. With us moving back across state lines and everything that's been going on in our lives. So we're finally at a point to where everybody can get back together and start filming again. And I'm excited to see where it takes us this time, fellas.
For sure. Yeah, no, it's been an absolute grind for sure. So, but again, like I think the biggest thing is that we're all back and we're all ready to go. So that's kind of the exciting part with all of this. But again, kind of what we're going to be doing today though is we're going to be bringing y'all kind of different things. We're going to be looking at Daily Grind Fantasy. And if y'all aren't sure what Daily Grind Fantasy is, that's this optimizer tool that we're looking at. That's kind of what we are. We're all positive EV betters. And if you're not sure what positive EV is, basically all that is we are comparing one sports book compared to the rest of the other sports books and trying to find the most value that we can get. And that's exactly what we are going to be doing on this. So we're looking at some of these DFS sites. We all three live in the great Lone Star State. So we are kind of limited on different sports books that we can be using. And the four main sports books that we're going to be kind of looking at here, Prize Picks, Underdog, Better, and Dabble. All of these are different, again, different sports books that we're allowed to be using in the state of Texas. So I do apologize if you do use something else other than that. But that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. And immediately, first thing that I see when I'm looking over here at Prize Picks, what I do when I look at this, and I'm not sure if this is something that y'all do either, I like to filter this out. Right, you can see here on this, I do have a filter of 2 data points. That's something that you can do, right? It's something that, if you compare one sports book to the rest of the market, then that's something that's really, really good for us. But while I'm looking through some of these, first off, let me explain why this is so good. So when we see here on Prize Picks, we can see this H1TE going over 10 on Prize Picks at a 57.78% odds to hit. That the reason that is so good is because, again, when we look here at Underdog and Hot Streaks, both of these books are saying actually this play is likely to go over, which is actually pretty good for us. So that's exactly kind of what we're looking at there. So this is in fact a really good play. And then we can do something that's called a correlation slip. So all I'm going to do, let's go ahead and copy this. We'll go over to Prize Picks, hop over to a CS2 tab. Of course, they're going to put it all the way over here. And I forget what it is. Can y'all tell me what was it? It was over 10 headshots. So, but whenever we look here, whenever we're kind of looking at these slips, we can do something that's called a correlated slip, where we're looking at the same team or the same game but opposite team. What we can do is we can kind of pair those players together. So if we look here versus that B8, all we have to do is kind of type in that Batera, and we can kind of copy that here. And all we're going to do is we're going to take that, one of his opponents, and they're also going to go over as well. Oh, he does play for Batera. This is always the hard part. Oh, versus B8. My bad. Sometimes it kind of hyphenates it. So B8. So what we can do is we can take any of these are going to be, and we can even take the kills. We don't have to necessarily pair headshot with headshot. We can kind of go kills with headshots or anything else like that. So as I'm building this out, this is on the screen. I know you two guys, y'all just went to a NASCAR race in Texas. Texas hosted it. Nathan, how was that?
Oh, you know me. You're asking the wrong person. NASCAR is always legendary in my eyes, brother. I mean, it's one of the best sporting events to go to. It's a grand old time, a lot of beer drinking. You get to watch cars go real fast, real left, and real loud, brother. I mean, it's a hoot.
I think it's the craziest
Yeah.
part is like the loudness of it.
Oh, if
Yeah.
you
I
think
mean,
that's the craziest part, then he needs to go. I mean, Dalton was in for an experience. He got him.
well, I will say, so I took my 4-year-old with Nathan, and it was an experience for both me and my 4-year-old. Thankfully, we put Nathan, we put, some, headphones on him, and he was good. But Nathan's like, hey, for your first 3 laps, you got to just experience it. And I tell you, dude, as soon as they come around and they went, like it's an unreal feeling. It literally will absolutely just shock you. But after that 3rd lap, I put them in and I kept them in. So I don't want to feel that no more. But yes,
It's
it's definitely exhilarating. NASCAR is crazy.
it's
I
see
don't know how
it's
they do it.
it's a lot better in person though. Like you see it on TV, it doesn't look like they're going that fast. But then like we sat really close to the start finish line, and like they coming off turn 4, and they're boot scooting. Like the TV doesn't do justice of how fast those guys are actually going in a circle.
Well, even when there's wrecks, that is crazy. Especially when we had like 2 or 3 happen right in front of us,
Yeah.
and it's a crazy experience. Thankfully, everyone was okay in all those, but it's funny because when there's a wreck in NASCAR, we're all looking down here, they're passing us, we're all looking down here, and then right behind you, you can miss it so fast there's a wreck literally in the direction you're not looking. But it's so funny because when there's something like that happening, people you're sitting around who you don't even know, complete strangers, will tap you on the shoulder. You'll look and they'll be like, over there. And you'll look over there. Like everybody's trying to get each other's attention. Look over here. So it's like, it's funny how it works in NASCAR. So everybody's touching each other to look over here and over there. And yeah, I mean, you're looking everywhere. So it's a really cool experience.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We met at the Bucky's right down at the before the track, and the Cup guys were out there doing practice and qualifying. And I remember we were sitting outside of the cars, and Kylie goes, "What is that noise?" I was like, "Bro, that's the cars." So
No,
it was fun.
that's something else that I want to know, and I'm gonna type that down here in this chat as well because I think that that's so funny. Bucky's, I hear that, and I'm just curious if any of our listeners have honestly been to a Bucky's, because I know a lot of people say I see all these videos and it's like they're like, man, these people love their Gophers or they love their Beavers, and they call it Buseys. So that's pretty funny. So
Yeah,
I'm just curious, have any of y'all ever been to Bucky's? So if you
Yeah.
see that when you join,
Bussies.
yes or no, Buseys, Bussies, any of that stuff, I feel like we always get.
Bussy nuts.
I guess.
But I mean,
but no,
the
yeah,
Bussy Beavers.
it was a great time. It was a fun experience to get to share with Dalton and his son, and we got to buy him a car, and he got to take pictures with some cars. So it was a good time, a lot of fun.
That's good. So as you can see here, that I still have this lineup up here on this Price Picks. Very profitable slip that you can see here. We're not getting any sort of payout shift. $5 gives us $50 here, which is that 10x payout that we're going to see here. And again, all we're doing is we're pairing these 2 plays, the top 2 plays and the bottom 2 plays. These are correlated, right? Because if this guy is going to go under on his kills, the way that that's correlated in these CS2 plays is if one team goes under, that means that one of these teams is likely dominating the other team, which means that there's no time for overtime because CS2 actually allows overtime in their kind of format because you have to win by so much by a certain point. So because of that, if there's dominating, this guy's goes under, then this guy's headshots are also likely to go under. Same thing with these 2 types of slips, but on the over side, hopefully what we're hoping for is that they go to overtime, they have more opportunities to get kills and everything else. So again, very profitable slip there for that CS2, but I know sometimes a lot of y'all don't bet CS2 and all these esport plays, but I'm telling you that's kind of what you need to do. These plays are always up here. Again, all of these are CS2 plays, and you're seeing all the type of value. Now we're kind of getting into like the nit and gritty of this. But as I'm looking for some more plays, we can also kind of go here. These are some really good plays. Personally, I like a lot of these League of Legends. A lot of these are CS2. So this Tarzan play here on Underdog, I really, really like this play, especially because it's a comparison here to Prize Picks, which I consider to be one of the top dogs here, just as a sports book and DFS app in general, that they are multi-billion-dollar industry, that they know how to set a line. So the fact that we're getting some discrepancies there between Underdog and Prize Picks is really, really good for us. And their payout shifts for 3 and 4 leg plays are very, very good. We're gonna get dinged. That's the bad thing with Underdog. Underdog does ding you for correlated slips, but their payouts for 4 leg slips have jumped up from 10x to 12x. So whenever they ding us, we're still getting it above a 10x play most times, which is pretty good. Now CS2, they really, really ding you on those, so it's a little bit harder to create those. But as I'm kind of building this slip out as well, did y'all see how the Indiana Pacers game just ended?
Did not.
I did not.
Cavaliers were winning pretty much the entire time. And to end out the game, like, I stopped watching it as we were kind of getting ready for this stream. I thought that the game was essentially over. I think it was a 7 or 8 point game, 40 seconds left. And the Cavaliers were winning by 7 or 8. And then 40 seconds left, I thought it was over. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I saw the last bit of it. Pacers ended up coming back and winning. Tyrese Halliburton hit a walk-off shot. Kind of crazy. So now the number one seed and the Cavaliers are down 0-2 and lost their first 2 games at home versus the Indiana Pacers. So kind of a
Legendary.
That's
crazy.
Kind of crazy there for sure. So
yeah, they're in trouble, man. What do you guys think of? What do you guys, speaking of teams, that are struggling? What about the Lakers?
Dude,
I mean,
that's crazy.
Luka.
That's crazy. Thoughts on? Yeah, first off, have you been to Buc-ee's? And is Luka returning to the Lakers? Is Luka returning?
Yeah, so I was actually listening. To
Dirk as a Mavs GM, baby, and bring Luka back.
That ain't gonna happen.
So I was hearing some rumors. There were some other articles and things that I was reading and whatnot, but apparently there's rumors going around that after they were kicked out of the playoffs, after they were finished and out, I don't know the validity of these sources, but there's some things going around that when he went to go have a dinner with the owner and uh, some of the other coaches with the Lakers, apparently Luka just something that wasn't making him feel right. Something wasn't easy, and apparently he had just got up and left. Like he just wasn't happy. So they're like thinking, is that he very well just didn't like the food. I don't know what's going on, but people are trying to correlate that to him just not being happy where he's at, and he just wants to go back to Dallas. Could that be? But now, if that's even true, I don't know. But if it is, this would be crazy. I wonder if they would.
About not wanting to leave Dallas, and he was very upset that he had to go to Los Angeles.
I mean, listen to all the chants going on with the owner there for the Mavs. I mean, everyone wants him fired. Like, they want him gone.
Ooh, Steph Curry is currently out now for today's game.
Shut up.
Yep.
Is he really?
Underdog just posted it.
Yes, sir.
Damn. Well, that sucks. I better get a reboot, Underdog. I had a slip going with him. Or not Underdog, sorry. It was Better. I had a slip going with him in a Better slip. I had him and Julius Randle left, so I need that to get rebooted, if at all possible, because I had his over on his assist, because I got pretty good value on that. But yeah, before we continue with this talk, I kind of wanted to explain this slip that we got here. So I did have a League of Legends, and as you can see here, this Tarzan and this Knight, these two guys are in the same game, different teams. Now, this is how it's different with CS2 plays compared to League of Legends. So again, CS2, they have that opportunity for overtime, and if one player goes over, then another player is also likely to go over as well in that. But with League of Legends, if one team is going to go under, like in this Tarzan, that means that the other team is really expected to dominate them, and that's how that correlation is. So if you do League of Legends, take one team's under, but then the over team's over. So that's what we have here. And then these other two plays, these are CS2 plays. And again, like I said earlier before we started creating this slip, underdog, whenever we create these slips, underdog really, really nerfs the CS2 plays. So I really try not to correlate those on underdog just because they're such poor slips to be making because they nerf the shit out of them. So these are two different teams. All I did was I looked here at underdog. Again, took these three top plays here, again, 56, 56, roughly 56, all three of these top plays, really, really good value. I just made a correlated slip with this one League of Legends play because the nerfing isn't as crazy whenever we're looking at that. So again, if you wanted to create that slip, I'll leave it up here as we continue this talk for sure. But yeah, no, I did see the because we traded Luka, which again, I'm a Mavericks fan. I know Dalton, you don't keep up too much with the Mavericks or NBA basketball in general, but I'm not sure who you would say you root for necessarily. Nathan, I know you're a Mavericks fan.
Yeah.
So, but when as a Mavericks fan myself, whenever we first saw that trade come in, I remember I was like on my pillow falling asleep because it happened at like 11:45, close to midnight, and I'm falling asleep and I get that and it was like, yeah, no, bullshit. And I'm like, I don't believe it. So I immediately start going to X, start Googling stuff, whatever. I'm like, this can't be true. There's no way this is true because we're trading him for an injured Anthony Davis, and it felt like just a bag of chips. Like, you know how many people would have killed to have Luka? Now,
No, it didn't feel like a bag of chips. It was a bag of chips, dog.
yeah, well, so I don't know, man. It's crazy because I really don't want to shit on Anthony Davis too much just because he is a good player. Max Christie really stepped up too, but it's like at the same time, we're talking about Luka. People would have given an arm and a leg. You see people like Brandon Ingram getting traded for first-round picks, multiple first-round picks. And we're talking
So
about
here's what.
Luka.
So
Yeah,
so
we
here's
got
something. So here's another controversial thing that I've heard, and I want to share is like Luca, and I think we can all like kind of see this, and we've probably heard the same thing, whether it's true or not. Is Luca was not very good at taking care of his body, right, and what he ate and what he did. And it seemed like he was always playing basketball all year round and never really resting his body either. Right? Is he playing in like the European League or something like that?
I mean, he'll
Is that
play.
what he does?
He did this last
yeah,
year because of
he
like the
did.
Olympics and stuff. So he went back and played
Right.
with his national
And
Okay,
team.
but
and so
I keep
what I'm saying is real quick is like I think that what's going on is the ownership is probably very. It's almost like they're treating this like a stock. They're like, hey, let's go ahead and sell him before he falls, and like let's just get the most out of it. Before we can't get nothing out of it. So I think they try to be like, ahead of it and trying to get rid of something and trying to get something out of it. But like you said, it's like you didn't get anything. Like you got Anthony Davis, who was already hurt, but you really didn't get anything for what we all know Luca currently is. Like, what did you get? The Mavs got nothing. Like, I would understand if you got like, some really good picks out of it or something and a really good player. Like, of course, like maybe, but even then, I just felt like you said, it was just like a bag of, just a bag of chips. So I don't know. It's very disappointing. I, you know, I think he's the face of the franchise. He's almost practically one of the faces of the NBA. I felt like that was a very dumb to get rid of him in the first place. But if you're going to, at least get something out of it, and
welcome,
that even that they didn't do.
welcome to being a sports fan in the state of Texas.
Hey, it's good to be a Stars though. That's it.
Hey, boy, better knock off some wood. Them stars are looking good.
Hey, it's good to be a Stars fan in Texas. It's all we got, baby. It's all we
Yeah,
got.
that's what we're riding out right now. If you were a Texas sports fan, that is what you were banking on right now is the Dallas.
Oh,
Where are they?
and this and look at it like even if you're like not even like in the DFW North Texas area, like just a Texas fan in general, look at the Spurs. Oh, Greg, like he's out. He's done. Like he's gonna be like an owner, right? He's gonna be like a partial owner or something of the team, but he's not coaching no more.
Oh man is old as dirt. So
He is, but I think he has health problems too. So I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But it's sad. It's like Nick Saban not coaching anymore. Like it's always fun to watch Greg Popovich coach and be able to like live during that time. And now you're seeing something that's now over. You know, it's like he's always kind of been very cool to watch growing up as
Yeah. Well,
watching the NBA. And now it's
speaking
like something that's now over.
speaking of retirements, our Saturdays are going to change, dude, because Lee Corso is now officially retired from College Game Day.
Saw
That
that.
too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we all knew that that was kind of coming, right? Like,
Oh yeah, it is. But I mean, it's a classic College Game Day skit where he puts on the headgear. Who's going to win? You know, what I mean,
I
it's just
mean, you
you
know that they're
grew up
gonna
watching it.
they're gonna have him come out for, I feel like some. I'm not sure where he's
Hey,
from, but I feel like wherever if
He
they
lives in
travel
Florida.
in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I could imagine them doing something if Florida, somehow ends up being good and they host a college game day. I could see him kind of popping out there for sure.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna miss Lee Corso. I'm gonna miss what he does with the mascots and everything, but I'm not gonna miss his picks. Okay. I just feel like he makes terrible picks.
Are you not you're not tailing his
Oh,
picks?
hell no. I'm fading him. He is the original fade guy. Like fade him always.
So anyways, though, this is another slip that I created with Daily Grind Fantasy. If you wanted access to that link is down in the description below. Use the code bench to get 25% off of your first month. So again, just went through here, picked out some of the top plays again. I mean, it's as simple as that. This tool does a really good job of kind of hand feeding you some slips, placing off a lot of volume. So again, I'm not saying that these slips are guaranteed to hit, but if you place off in enough volume, you have a higher chance of being a profitable sports bettor. So definitely make sure you're doing that as well.
And I
Um,
will say too, using this app and this website, this is something that if you do get you need to stay on top of it continuously because lines change all the time. If you get on and then you hop back on here 10 minutes later, it can be completely changed. And now it also depends on the time of day. You know, lines were really hot one morning. Like DJ and I, right? We'll call each other like, dude, are you seeing this right now? Hop on, hop on, hop on. And we're getting these lines. But then the next morning we hop on and there's nothing there.
yeah,
Like sometimes it's just like that sometimes and you just have to continually hop on, just check it out whenever you can. And you're gonna find some really great picks. It's about consistency and volume. Get everything. Get as much as you can, but keep it positive EV. If there's nothing there, don't force it.
yeah.
Do not force it. Just find what you can, make the slip, and move on.
Yeah, and exactly like he's saying, like not forcing anything. If you and this is a good reason to have multiple sports books as well. Because for instance, if you were to bet on Dabble, these are not profitable slips, right? There's certain thresholds that you need to be able to hit whenever you're betting on these different sites, right? So whenever we're betting on Dabble creating 3 or 6 leg slips, we're looking for 54.9. As you can see here, there's no single plays that are even at a 54.5 and above. So at this point, we're just kind of going on here and picking the best plays. That's not a profitable betting strategy. Sure, if you did that and you won a couple times, you might be like, oh yeah, this is the way, this is how I need to bet long term. That's not the profitable strategy, right? And it's even kind of indicated here to be in the orange. And I'm not saying that you're not getting any value with this because you actually are getting really good value with this play, just not the right value that we need whenever we're creating these slips. Because, for instance, looking here at Josh Hart to go under 14 and a half rebounds plus assists, this is a 54.46% odds to hit. Because when we look across the rest of the market, a lot of these books are offering this 1 point lower, or 1 rebound and assist lower at 13 and a half, 13 and a half, 13 and a half, couple books at 14 and a half. Slightly favored and then heavily favored here at minus 133. So again, there's
Wait,
value,
why
but
are
not the value that we need.
I was gonna say while you're on there, because I looked at my price picks earlier for tomorrow's NBA games, and it just may not be up yet. But I was gonna see if you saw anything on Russell Westbrook because Islam was set at 12.5 points for tomorrow night's game, and he's hit that 4 out of his last 5 games.
So that brings up a really, really good point. So yeah, Westbrook has been dominating like crazy, and actually the indication here is for it to go under. The thing is whenever you look at the last 5 here on price picks would not include a last 5 game log if they thought that it was a strategy to where you could beat them. What price picks wants is price pick wants your money. Why would they offer you a tool looking at their last 5 game log for you to be able to beat them? It doesn't make sense. They want you to lose. The thing is, Pinnacle, right? Pinnacle is considered one of the sharpest sports books in the world, right? They're even pricing this line at 12 and a half. They're saying that the under is actually favored at minus 127. FanDuel, another sharp sports book, saying that this line is also favored at minus 130. So yes, he's hit 4 of the last 5, but Pinnacle, FanDuel, all these other sports books, multi-million dollar industries, multi-billion dollar industries. They spend all of that money into creating these lines. There's nothing that they don't know that you don't already. They know exactly what probably Russell Westbrook's eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the fact that he's hit 4 out of his last 5 games.
I want to see them create a line for the Talladega 500, dude. Just like, hey,
Dude,
show me your line for the Talladega 500, bro.
I'm not going to lie. I've been sending y'all some. I've been trying to get on the NASCAR train as much as I can. In the last 2 weeks, I've sent y'all some slips because there's been some stupid good value. And Nathan, or whoever, I need some of y'all to explain it. Whoever the fuck was watching this race, because I don't even know these dudes' names. But whoever,
Hey man, I'm learning.
whoever I had, and I sent it to y'all. I'm about to have to go look at our chat. Dude, Carson something.
Hocevar.
Yes, Hocevar and Austin Cindric.
Yep, Austin Cindric. You got it right.
What the hell is this? They are, I don't know how many laps are in a NASCAR race, but these dudes are in like top 5. All I need them to do is to finish top 10. I had plus value odds when DraftKings, I think it's plus 600.
They both wrecked. they both wrecked.
I was like, bro, we're in the top 5. And I'm like, this race has been going on for 3 hours. 3 hours these dudes are driving around the track. We're still in the top 5. This is about to hit. Because yeah, I sent it to y'all. DraftKings putting those two in a single parlay plus 185. If putting them on underdog is plus 546. That is God sent positive EV betting. And I'm like, I'm about to cash this. And then all of a sudden I check back and they're in the 20s. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? So I got royally fucked over here betting on NASCAR. That's the last 2 weeks.
They got caught up in a wreck on Sunday. They were both of them are running top 5. Hocevar was running the top like 3 all day. He led in like the first 70 laps.
And Cindric, didn't he start in first? I'm not sure if that matters at all.
Hocevar started first.
Oh.
But Cindric did lead laps. He led a lot of laps too, but they both got caught up in the wreck in the last stage.
How you get caught up in a wreck?
It's NASCAR, brother.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's like you sent me your line for Talladega, and I was like, hey, those are some really good super speedway drivers that you picked. But Talladega and Daytona are so unpredictable because you're literally seconds away from having a 30-car wreck. Like you can't. They're unpredictable. It's bad.
Well, so let me tell you this. Like, this is what got me with NASCAR, and I didn't understand it. Like, I'm asking Nathan all these questions during the race because I'm like, dude, what is going on? But on the jumbotron, they got the who's currently in what place, right? You have Kyle Larson, who's in the Cup Series, who's racing in the Xfinity race. So he it's like the pros versus, what do you call that, Nathan? It's like the semi-pros or
their Xfinity is like your AAA essentially.
Yeah. So you have Kyle Larson out there just killing it, right? So like he starts somewhere middle of the pack when the race goes, right? Well, anyways, somewhere near stage 1, he's like top 3, and him and 2 other drivers are just crushing it, like cruising, and everyone else is like, there's a huge gap. Well, all of a sudden there was like a wreck, and
the dude Justin Allgaier, he was in first.
Yeah. So they stop it, so they start doing they should start coasting around, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, there was such a huge gap between these 3 cars, and now they're all like back together now. I was like, so whenever there's a wreck, like it kind of like screws them over because there's and now when they start the race, the driver that was now in 5th is now competing, now he's like in second place all of a sudden, like whenever they start going again. So I'm
Yeah. So
like,
what's
dude, like that's that. Do you understand what I'm
what's
saying,
yeah
DJ?
yeah yeah yeah
I
yeah
know it
yeah yeah
sounded
yeah. Like
confusing to me, but
what's stopping these other 4 guys who are on team? Like this is just like Talladega Nights. Like he's like, oh, Ricky Bobby, like if you, I mean, this didn't happen in the movie, but he's like, man, if you need me to get a wreck to get you caught back up, you know,
no,
boom, here you go.
literally, literally.
There you go.
That's really what happens. Dalton said it right. The guy who's in 10th place can be 12 seconds off the lead car, and there'll be a wreck, and you go and you do your green flag pit stop, or you do your pit stop under caution. You come out in 10th. Now you're only like 0.2 seconds away from first place. So
Man,
Yeah, and
that's
I
what
will
they
say
need. They
too,
need to,
DJ.
whenever
What?
they do them little warm up, the whatever, give this dude a 12-second lead, and
No,
then
and
everybody
here's
else
another
go. That's some
DJ. This will
bullshit.
get you to in sports betting and NASCAR. This is what can screw you. Kyle Larson was in first place, I think, in stage 2 or something. He goes in for a pit, right? Well, his pit, like his team, like something happened and they messed up, right? He ends up coming out and isn't even in the top 20 anymore. He was in first place, and I look at the leaderboard, and I'm like, dude, Kyle Larson pitted, but he's not even the leaderboard anymore, and he's racing. And Nathan's like, oh, his pit crew messed up, so when they pushed him back out there, he fell back like 20 spots. So the pit crew could like something could go wrong while he's in pit, and he loses that whole thing trying to get caught up. Now, luckily, there was another wreck, and he got back in first, so
Talking
whatever.
about
dude,
I'd be madder now.
Oh yeah,
every
mm,
millisecond matters in NASCAR, dude.
yeah. But if you get screwed, you're like, oh baby, please be a wreck, please be a wreck. Like
Yeah,
you could
you're
be
on
in
your
you
life.
could be in 20th 1 second, and the next you're in first, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how that all works out, but it's still fun to watch.
Oh, come on.
All right, so
Looking
Yeah.
for I'm looking forward to DJ Slip this weekend for his NASCAR betting.
No, okay, because
Let's see what he.
yeah, and I mean, my thing is though is like with this, I'm not, if I'm getting something at plus 500, plus 600, and other sports books are offering it at plus 150, I'm taking it. I don't care. I'm taking it. And the fact that it's like, I think where I got just so butthurt by it all was just the whole fact that I'm like, I got my hopes up. I got my damn hopes up because we were leading the entire time. And now all of a sudden, what the hell happened? Ain't that some shit? Getting a wreck. God dang it, dude. Yeah, so that
Dude,
kind of sucked.
you never know what happened. I mean, even Sunday on the Sunday race because we went for the Saturday Sunday race. On the Sunday race, the dude in first place, he leading laps in first place and comes off turn 4. Next thing you know, he spins out and hits the wall. So fucking junked his race car. So and he was in first. So you just NASCAR's so unpredictable, dude. I mean, but if you hit on it, dude, I've hit on it a few times.
Yeah,
It's a good payout.
that's what I'm
It's a
saying.
good.
Plus 600 on favored odds is actually wild. So I was pretty pleased with it, but yeah, it would have been a nice little payday. But so that's all the value that we got. I think that that's kind of a good stopping point for us. But I will vow to y'all that we will be doing these much more. I do appreciate y'all kind of tuning in and listening to us kind of find some bets, find some banter, figuring out positive EV betting, and just sitting up here and just chit-chatting with you guys. It's truly the best. So thank y'all for interacting and just kind of being along throughout this journey for us. But anyways, though, that's all that we've got for y'all. We'll see y'all next time.